Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, Entiled X landlord demand I leave behind the washer and dryer I paid for. My siblings have pretty much taken over my house. Those are mine. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entiled X landlord demand I leave behind the washer and dryer I paid for. Originally I posted this on AITA. But someone said it might belong here. So yeah, here it is. So for the past 2 years I 25M lived in a small apartment building. The apartment didn't have laundry room for the building when I moved in, but did come with hooks up for a washer and dryer in the apartment, so I bought them myself because I work for a wildlife sanctuary and I get pretty dirty during my work. Just the other day I had to chase down and wrestle one of our wild boars, Bacon. We didn't name him, but he came with that name, who loved to escape his pen and thinks it funny to play chase. I got me completely dirty. I was covered in grass stain and mud. So I very much need them. My boyfriend and I just got engaged, and since my lease was up, I moved into his house with him. I finished moving everything out of my old apartment yesterday, and I thought nothing about taking my washer and dryer with me as I had bought them. My boyfriend had some, but they were old and kept breaking down and were costing too much to have fixed. Well, I woke up this morning to multiple missed calls from my old landlord. I left my phone number and new address in case any mail was delivered to my old places. I called him back, and he asked me why the washer and dryer were gone. I explained that I took them with me. He started freaking out, saying that he had put that the place had a washer and drying in the ad for the place. Apparently, I have raised the rent due to them. He started to demanding I bring them back because the new clients he has set up to move and had already signed the lease are not interested in the place without them. Even threatened to call the police if I don't take them back. I got angry and told him that I would do no such thing, reminding him that they belong to me. I bought them, and I still had the receipts from when I bought them, as well as text from him when I moved that explaining I was buying them myself. He again threatens to call the police. I told him to do it and see what happened and hung up at that point. Personally, I don't think I'm in the wrong. I bought them and they weren't cheap, so I feel I have the right to take them. My boyfriend is on my side, but today, the coworkers said they think I'm the asshole for not telling the landlord I was taking them. In my opinion, that should have been obvious. I paid for them, why I would leave them? Well, my landlord went through with calling the police. Because the next day they showed up today. Honestly, nothing really noteworthy happened. I explained to them what was going on and showed them the receipt for the washer and dryer as well as the text from the landlord I had from when I told him I was buying them. The cops took my statement and left. My boyfriend's father is a lawyer, and he is going to be contacting my landlord and sorting everything out. He advised me not to respond to said landlord anymore for the time being. Your coworker is an asshole and an idiot. Absolutely, came here to say this too. Whatever you bring into a rental property you take when you leave. Why on earth would you leave behind expensive appliances that you paid for? Your landlord and coworkers are morons. Yeah, you're good. You bought it. He's demanding you leave your stuff. It's no different than demanding you leave your TV or shampoo. He's off his top if he thinks he's gonna get it. We'll need an update. Right, is the landlord going to pay OP for the washer and dryer? Who does he think he is to be entitled to his belongings? The apartment didn't come with a washer and dryer. He left the apartment the same way she found it. He can go kick rocks. Yeah, maybe your coworker could give the landlord their washer and dryer? Does your coworker own rental property? That is the only explanation for why they think you should give hundreds of dollars worth of appliances to your landlord. My siblings have pretty much taken over my house. I am the youngest of my siblings. One is married with 6 kids under 6. 2 are stepchildren from the new husband, this is husband number 4 by the way, and the other has 3 failed marriages and a kid from each, including the current one. I on the other hand have been married once. This is year 5 and we do not have kids. We both make really good incomes and have a nice home. My mother lives with us because she has a health issue and has lived with me since diagnosis, pre-marriage. When my spouse met me, he was aware of the living situation and was very understanding as he is very family-oriented as well. Okay, so the issue. My siblings are asking my mom to babysit every other weekend in my home. Either they want her to babysit or they want to bring their entire families to our city and stay at my house while they visit other people or go to events. My spouse and I enjoy our quiet time at home when we get a break on weekends, but these are starting to be few and far between, and although my mom is being asked to do the babysitting, I get dragged into the obligation because I cook for her, so now I have more people to feed. I love seeing the kids, but I don't want the extra responsibility. They never ask me if it's okay. They ask my mom and she then tells me what they have planned. I just feel like they feel like that are entitled to use my home because my mom lives there. My spouse hasn't complained about anything yet, but I feel like it is inevitable at some point because if I'm noticing, he must be also. Anyone else take care of a parent and have to deal with the siblings always at their house? Maybe I'm just being selfish, but I wanted to vent. If your mom wants to babysit, it should be done at the kid's home, not yours. I'm more concerned about mom's health. Time to have a conversation with your mom. She's creating the issue here because she's saying yes to your siblings' requests. It's your household and you're paying for everything, so she needs to live there by your rules. Honestly, a shared household needs some rules to ensure everyone is able to live together and be respectful of one another. Suggest some alternatives, such as her going to your siblings' homes to babysit, or only having the kids over one day each month. Also suggest the parent pack food to send with their kids. I often would send a pack lunch for babysitters to make that side of things easier. Also put a stop to the entire family's visiting and staying at your home. Tell mom that overnight guests need to be agreed upon by everyone that lives there, and you're not willing to accept overnight guests regularly, just for exceptional occasions, for example if you were to host Christmas or something. If she doesn't like living there according to your rules, then it sounds like it's time for her to live with one of the other siblings and they have a turn caring for her. You've done your time. I can see she wants to help your siblings and her heart is in the right place, but she doesn't live alone and her choices impact you. She needs to be more mindful. And honestly, she's severely overstepping your kindness by allowing such constant household invasions on your private space. Sounds like you need to have a conversation with your mother about acceptable boundaries and tell her frankly that she needs to stop babysitting so much. If they need a babysitter so often, why can't they have her go visit their home for a few days? It's your home. You are entitled to enjoy it. Your siblings are using you. You need to have a 3-way conversation with you, your mom, and your husband to discuss boundaries. Good luck. Talk to mom, let her know this can't continue every weekend. If they want her to babysit, she needs to go to their home to do it. They will have to pick her up and take her there. Those are mine. I've been seeing a lot of posts/articles about lunch thieves and it made me think of mine. This happened about 4 months ago. I brought in a thing of pizza rolls with my name written across both sides. When it was time for my lunch, I go to the freezer and can't find them. I looked all over just to make sure they weren't moved. They weren't. In the microwave, there's a plate of pizza rolls warming up though. I looked in the trash, and right on top was the bag with my name in huge letters. The person who was warming them up had left the room. So once they're done cooking, I pulled them out, grabbed my ranch, and started eating. Then walks in Teresa. And let me just say, she is pissed. She asks me how I have the nerve to steal her lunch. Conversation went like this. Me, you mean the lunch that I brought in? Her, you didn't. That's mine. Give it back to me. Me, this is me. Her, if you don't give it back to me, or give me $10 to replace it, I'm going to go tell Rick. Me, okay, go for it. Few minutes later, Rick and Teresa comes walking into the break room. T-C. There she is eating my lunch. R dash, is that true? Me dash, no. If you look at the bag at the top of the trash, you'll see it has my name written on it. T dash, she could have done that after I left. Rick just rolls his eyes and says there's nothing he can do. T dash, are you at least going to make her pay me for it? R dash, no, the bag has her name on it. As far as I can tell, it's hers. Rick walks out. T dash, you could have told me it had your name on it before I went and got Rick. Me dash, and you could have brought or bought your own lunch instead of trying to steal mine. She still tells new hires to watch out for me. Man. Some people are just insane. People who steal food at work should be fired immediately. They always turn out to be stealing in other ways too, either other things from coworkers or the workplace, but also the credit for work they didn't do, or general not doing their job, and so on. I hate when people steal other people's lunch like we aren't hungry too. I remember night shift in the emergency room during COVID and someone kept stealing everyone's lunch. We went to the manager and she said until we had proof there wasn't anything that could be done, so the evil hungry nurses hatched a plan to catch who was doing it. They started bringing in nasty things like plain hamburger potatoes and frozen veggies on a plate or something inedible, but you wouldn't know it until you tasted it. The rest of us used DoorDash to get food. After 2 shifts, the EMT supervisor came out of the break room having a complete meltdown because she was hungry and her dinner was ruined. Now we are all trying to shovel food in our mouths before the next wave of patients came in, and the charge nurse said, "Did you put food in the fridge or freezer?" She said no, so then she asked, "Well, what were you eating?" She goes, "The food in the blue lunchbox." "Is that your lunchbox?" Her face was like, "Ugh," and the nurse said, "By the way, that's my dog's food that I pick up on my way to work." After that, we could bring food in. This is just ridiculous. And how dare you hold back evidence of her thievery? Like you have to have security cameras on the office refrigerator now. I'm going to start writing my name on my sandwich with mustard. I accidentally took someone's Diet Coke once. I also had one in the fridge, noticed their name written on it after I'd opened it, so they got an email from me, explaining what happened and that they could have minded that I had then written their name on. We'd occasionally bring in extra and write each other's names on after that. It was nice. I hate people that do this. They are unethical thieves that need to be fired. Also, it's absolutely disgusting. I can't imagine just eating some random person's food, especially if it's homemade. Besides the fact it's morally wrong, you have no idea if whoever made it has a filthy kitchen or left it in the danger zone for too long. I don't even like to eat homemade goodies people bring in to share with everyone. You just don't know if they are clean or not. It's so gross. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.